so quietly, yet spawned terrible, violent death to criminals. Usually he left a blue flint arrowhead at the scene as his trademark. The Penetrator won friends in a few law enforcement agencies, such as Dan Griggs in the Justice Department. The original confrontation led to limited cooperation by Griggs, without the knowledge of his superiors, of course. Mark Hardin worked for the underdog, for the common man or woman caught up in large-sized trouble. It might be a fishing boat captain in New Orleans, a young dancer in Hollywood, or a Kansas farmer who found his cattle mysteriously poisoned. The Penetrator's vengeance has not been for himself, rather it's been for society, for those who won't or can't strike back for themselves, who must rely on others to fight their battles. Now, all across the country, the loan sharks, the shakedown artists, the criminals large and small, watch over their shoulders, hoping the man with the blue flint arrowhead doesn't pay them a call. Law enforcement officials soon realized that the Penetrator showed up in areas of high criminal activity. Some police welcomed him to their areas in spirit, but officially he was a wanted felon, and was named as being armed and extremely dangerous, even though he had never fired a single shot at a legitimate, honest law officer. The police have continued to watch for him. The FBI has a full-time man assigned to find and bring Mark to trial. But the public thinks of him more as a second Robin Hood. They ask, is it against the law to steal from the hardened criminals when most of the money is returned to those innocent persons who had been oppressed and robbed in the first place? Each new foray against crime seems to heighten and strengthen the Penetrator's popularity with the common people, and confuses and irritates another police department. After the last bloody siege with a private army of cutthroats in Atlanta, Mark quietly slipped out of the country with Joanna Tabler. He had met this justice agent in his battle with black extremists in New York, and the friendship grew. He worked with her in 3 more campaigns, and the romance blossomed. Now Mark was gut-tired, exhausted. He needed time to rest and try to put his life together again, to get back on course. He was sure that Joanna Tabler would help him. He wanted 2 weeks of lying on the sand, soaking up the warm sun, and swimming in the clear waters of Acapulco, Mexico. He let the sun beat into his skin and relaxed. Mark Hardin was a larger and more powerful man than most people thought at first glance. At 6 feet 2 inches, he was heavily muscled and looked like an athlete in training. His general complexion was dark, and he suntanned to a coppery brown when he had a chance. He could move with the supple litheness of a cougar, and his dark eyes and thick black mustache gave his face a smoldering, critical look. When he frowned, a lethal aura seemed to engulf him. Mark's hair was black and a little shaggy, hiding parts of his ears and collar. His best weight was 205 pounds, which he maintained without conscious effort. His accent, if any, was NBC newscaster, but Easterners and those from the Deep South picked up the far west twang if they listened closely. His enemies usually never had a chance to listen at all. Mark watched the silver blonde beside him in the skimpy bikini. He was even getting to know Joanna again. It had been over 6 months since he had seen her. He turned over to toast the other side and felt the tenseness fading from him. So far, everything was perfect, but he had never completed a planned vacation yet. Somehow, he had a hunch this one would be no different. Chapter 1. A Long, Ugly Life. Johnny Utah, lean as a picket fence, sucked in his gut as he pressed hard against the cold bricks of an alley just off East Grand Boulevard, waiting for the car to move to the center point of the dark passage. His lips curled in grim pleasure, making his thin face and deep-set brown eyes appear softer than usual. The sedan's headlights were off as ordered. He held his breath in the 3 a.m. chilly Detroit darkness, knowing his prey would soon get curious and make some move. Instead